and these are not the words of a soothsayer either. Little do you remember, but this is the revelation from the Most High. What is his response the first time? He got sick. He was so affected that he got sick, that he went to his house and he was confused. What is it that just happened? But the way he reacts to his confusion the first time is not that, let me consider that this might be revelation. He says, you know what, this whole thing is getting me so bundled up inside, let me just go kill Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If I kill him, I won't be confused anymore. SubhanAllah, look at his mindset, his mentality. And we all know what happens there. And I'm going to fast forward a bit to the second exposure of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu to the Quran. Surah Taha. After he realizes how reckless of a person he is, when he slaps his own sister, when he has beaten a noble man, and he sees the blood from his own sister, and he realizes that this is not something that's befitting of a man, and he says, let me read what you guys are reading. This time he has the capacity. This time he wants to read. And he reads from that Quran, from that sheet. طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى تنزيلا ممن خلق الأرض والسماوات العلى الرحمن على العرش استوى له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وما بينهما وما تحت الثرى. Listen to how beautiful these words are. طه, we did not reveal this Quran on you لتشقى, to cause you distress. إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى, except for a person, a reminder, لمن يخشى, for a person at this point who has the capacity, at this point who has some fear of Allah Azza wa Jal, at this point has some humility. This is a revelation from the one who created the heavens and the earth and everything that is in between them. Ar-Rahmanu ala al-Arsh istawa. Ar-Rahman, the most merciful, ascended the throne. Everything around us, the heavens and the earth and everything that is within and between, belongs to Ar-Rahman. And subhanallah al-azim, from that moment on, you have a man who is willing to go to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who not only is considering this might be revelation, although I want you to really think about this, dear brothers and sisters. Which one was a more powerful experience? Think about this. Taha is a beautiful surah. But if I'm standing in front of a person who's responding to all of my thoughts, that's a more powerful experience than Taha. But listen to his reaction this time. He goes to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he wants to take this deen out to the public. As Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu says, the Islam of Umar was a victory for this deen. The Islam of Umar was izzah, was honor and glory. And he goes and he's looking for people to proclaim his new faith to. He's looking for Abu Jahl, and he knocks on Abu Jahl's door. I'm a Muslim now. And Abu Jahl tells him something that I really can't mention in the khutbah, I guess, right? May Allah curse you. May your Lord curse you. And he's looking for someone to spill the news. He's looking for the Fox News and the CNN and all these people of Mecca now so that they can get the word out, so he can stand firm on his faith. Although this experience was not as powerful as the first one. In a matter of 24 hours, Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu had completely taken this deen and his own spirituality to a new level. And Islam was being proclaimed in the streets of Mecca, and he was fighting for it and he was sacrificing for it. What's the difference, dear brothers and sisters? The second time around, his qalb, his heart had the capacity to accept that which was being recited. As Imam al-Muzani rahimahullah says, أَسْلَمَ بِطَاهَا فَكَانَ أَجْمَلْ مِنَ الشَّمْسِ فِي ضُحَاهَا وَأَوْضَحُ مِنَ الْقَمَرِ إِذَا تَلَاهَا فَوَلَّ الْأُمَّةَ فَرْعَاهَا فَدَخَلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَحَيَّتْهُ فَحَيَّاهَا. In a matter of a moment, أَسْلَمَ بِطَاهَا, just a few words of Taha, and he was more beautiful than the sun whenever the sun has risen. And he was more beautiful than the full moon. He was clearer in his Islam than the full moon. He lit this ummah up. He brought this ummah to its glory. فَدَخَلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَحَيَّتْهُ فَحَيَّاهَا. Entered into paradise, and he greeted it, and it greeted him. But it all came from a few words. But his heart had the capacity to accept it. Now I want you to think about these two incidents, and the incident of Tufayl ibn Amr al-Dawsi, and consider this one ayah from the Quran. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Don't they contemplate the Quran, or are their hearts locked? Are their hearts locked? And I want you to think very, very profoundly about the difference between those men and us. And the difference between Umar part 1 and Umar part 2. If you are already reading the Quran, and you don't have the capacity to listen to what the Quran is telling you, you don't have the capacity to listen to khutbatul hajah, these words are nothing to you, these words are routine for you, then there's a problem there. And many of us will sit and think, why is it that the Quran doesn't affect me? Many of us complain. All of us have this problem. We're definitely not like the Sahaba where we leave the masajid and we put tears all over the place. We're definitely not like that. And we all complain. We're all sad about this. If you're not sad, that's even a greater indication that you need to be scared. We're all sad over this. How come I cannot have the same amount of khushu' as those men? Why doesn't my heart get affected like them? Because if you read the Quran, dear brothers and sisters, and if you listen to the khutbatul hajah, if you listen to all these words praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if your heart does not have the capacity to absorb it, if your heart is already full of something else other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if your heart has holes in it from the sins that you've committed, there is no way that you're going to be able to accept it the way that those men accepted it. And Allah Azza wa Jal tells us in a very profound manner, the reason why the kuffar did not want to listen to the Quran, the reason why the Quran had no effect on the Quran. قَالَ وَإِذَا تُتْلَى عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُنَا بَيِّنَاتٍ قَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِالْحَقِّ لَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ هَذَا سِحْرٌ مُبِينٌ.